Hey everybody! In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some tools that I use for resin jewelry crafting that I feel make things a lot easier. Some of them are pretty conventional, and I'm sure you've seen, like the rounded pliers, and then other ones you might not have seen used or wouldn't think to use, but they really help a lot, like these nail clippers. So I'm going to go ahead and start first with, well, I guess we'll start with the nail clippers. So what I like to use nail clippers for is trimming things, like here's an eye pin. And while you could use things like, you know, most tools have little clippy parts like that, I always just feel like this is more precise. What I really like to use the nail clippers for is stuff like chain, because you can really grab on to these little links. So I like to take one on one side and one on the other, and look how easy that is. It's especially helpful when I'm making earrings or some piece of jewelry where there's pieces of chain that are all one length or varying lengths, but I have to be really precise about it. The nail clippers help a ton with that, so I highly recommend those. One thing that I use probably daily is this nail file for sanding down the sides of resin pieces. And while I know you can use a Dremel tool, and I do have one and I do use it sometimes, I've noticed it's easier to take off more than you planned. Like you'll go to kind of just like sand down a side and I'll take like big parts that I didn't mean to off of it. So usually with smaller resin pieces especially, I like to use this nail file, and it's great because it has a very coarse side, it has a finer side, and then varying degrees of finer sides. And it was cheap. It was probably like $4 or something like that. And I highly recommend getting a buffer like this that has all of these different grits, I guess you would call them, because then you can take off big chunks if you want, and then just sand it down finer and finer and get a really nice finish on your piece with these things. So this was a really, really good investment. Now this thing blew my mind when I found out about it. I highly recommend this thing, and it is a loop maker. I don't even know exactly what it's called. I'll leave links for all of this stuff in the description box below, but I'll do a little demonstration with it so you can see what it does. It's pretty crazy. So you could take a pin, or like this is already an eye pin that has a loop, and you can make loops with this thing. And while you can do it with things like these rounded pliers, it's not, I'll do a little demonstration. Okay. You can make, oh, okay. Yeah, see, okay. You can make loops with them, but it can be kind of sloppy. If I tried harder, it would probably be a little bit better, but you get what I'm saying. So let me show you how this thing works. So I have a bead, and I'll make a connector with it. So I'm going to take my bead, and then you take this, oh my gosh. Okay, take your bead, and then you take this looper deal, and you insert the pin, and then you clamp down, and look at that. That is a perfect little eye pin loop deal, and it is so, so easy. If you like making bead connectors or things along those lines, this thing is amazing. All right, so the other things that I like working with are these rounded off pliers. You could make little eye pin loops with them, like you saw me attempt to do. What I like using them for though is jump rings and things along those lines, when you need to clasp onto something to like open it up and all of that, because there doesn't leave any like little pits and marks on there, if you will. Like if you used pliers that had grooves, it tends to cause a little bit of trauma to the metal. So you don't get that with this, which is really nice. It's what I like using these for. And while I'm talking about jump rings, I want to talk about like findings and materials that I have started using and probably have for about a year now, that I think other people should get on board with if they haven't already, and that's stainless steel findings. I have some chain here, and that's a stainless steel jump ring, and then here's another one. and another one. Stainless steel is amazing. It doesn't tarnish, it's hypoallergenic, there's no nickel in it, whatever, anything like that, that people tend to have allergic reactions to, and it is very, very strong. All right, so I took that little jump ring and those pieces of stainless steel chain and I looped them, the pieces of chain onto the jump ring, like you can see that little ring right there. And I'm gonna show you how strong this stuff is. So I'm gonna take my pliers on each side. Okay, and I'm just gonna pull. I'm pulling really, really hard. Like honestly, as hard as, okay, maybe I can pull. No, I can't. Okay, that's as hard as I can pull. And the chain isn't breaking and neither is the jump ring. So that really just shows you how strong this stuff truly is. Okay, so I talked about all the tools I liked using, and like I said, I'll make sure to leave links for all of this in the description box below. And I guess I've covered what I wanted to cover. So I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.